there, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Energize Your Passion. I'm your host, Sunshine. I'm so excited about today's episode because we're diving deep into something I truly believe can change your life: healing travel. Sometimes we think of travel as just a way to escape or relax. But what if I told you that it can be so much more than that? What if travel could actually heal your soul, refresh your spirit, and help you get back to being your best, most authentic self? That's what we're talking about today. Wellness travel adventures that do just that. So grab your favorite drink. You know how we do it. Get comfy, and let's talk about how you can make your next trip not just a vacation, but a healing journey. All right. Segment 1. What is healing travel? All right. Let's start with the question. What comes to mind when you think of travel? Beaches? Sightseeing? Maybe you're thinking of a getaway from your daily grind. And while all of that is amazing, trust me, I'm all for a little R&R. What if you look at travel as a chance to heal, to truly take care of your mind, body, and spirit? Healing travel isn't just about lounging by the pool with a cocktail, although I wouldn't say no to that. It's about engaging in experiences that help you reconnect with yourself, your inner peace, and the world around you in a meaningful way. You see, healing travel isn't your typical vacation. It's not just about visiting a place. It's about letting that place speak to you, heal you, and in some cases, change you. And let's be real. Don't we all need that from time to time? Whether you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just exhausted from life's pressures, healing travel can give you that fresh start you didn't even know you needed. Imagine returning home not just recharged, but transformed, with a sense of renewal that lasts far beyond the trip itself. So what exactly does this look like? Healing travel could be as simple as finding a quiet beach where you can listen to the waves and let your thoughts drift away. Or it could mean diving into a yoga retreat where you meditate, practice mindfulness, nourish your body with healthy foods. For others, it's about adventure, hiking through nature, or visiting spiritual landmarks that ground you in something bigger than yourself. Let's talk about the different ways healing travel can manifest. Because the beauty of it is, it's deeply personal. For some, it might be about finding peace in solitude, getting away from the noise of everyday life, and embracing the quiet within. You could find yourself waking up with the sunrise in a remote cabin in the woods, sipping tea while watching the fog lift over a mountain range. There's something undeniably therapeutic about being alone with nature, away from the pressures of a modern life. It's like the world slows down just enough for you to catch your breath. For others, healing travel could be about connection, whether it's reconnecting with loved ones, forming new bonds with like-minded travelers, or simply rediscovering a connection with yourself. Sometimes we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life that we lose touch with who we are at our core. Healing travel can be that opportunity to realign, to check in with yourself in a way that everyday life doesn't always allow. And let's not forget the spiritual element of healing travel. Some destinations have this almost magical energy, inviting us to heal on a deeper level. Think of places like Sedona with its famed energy vortexes, or the temples in Bali that encourage mindfulness and meditation. There's something about these sacred spaces that offer us more than just beauty. They offer us a way to heal spiritually, to reconnect with something greater than ourselves, and to come back feeling more grounded and whole. But here's the thing. Healing travel doesn't have to be tied to one specific type of journey. It can be whatever you need it to be, whether it's taking a walk in nature, going on a wellness retreat, or simply choosing a destination that encourages reflection. It's all about intention. It's about giving yourself permission to slow down, be present, and prioritize your well-being. And trust me, you don't need a luxury retreat or an exotic destination to experience the benefits of healing travel. Sometimes the most profound healing happens in the simplest places. Speaking of healing, one key element to remember is that travel itself is a form of self-care. Just the act of stepping outside of your usual routine, being in a new environment, and allowing yourself to see the world from a different perspective can have a profound impact on your mental and emotional health. You might not even realize how much the daily grind has been wearing you down until you give yourself the space to breathe, to think, and to just be. I have to share this amazing story with you from one of our listeners, Jessica from San Diego. She was going through a tough breakup and felt completely lost. You know, that feeling when it seems like everything you thought was solid just crumbles beneath you. That's where Jessica was at. So she decided to take a solo trip to Sedona, Arizona. Jessica said she went there just to clear her head, but ended up having a life-changing experience. She hiked, meditated, and really gave herself the space to feel. By the end of her trip, she felt like a new person. She said, I went there broken, but I came back healed. Isn't that beautiful? Sedona gave her the space to heal. Stories like Jessica's reminds us how powerful travel can be when we approach it with the intention of healing. It's not about where you go, but how you allow that place to transform you. Healing travel gives you the opportunity to step away from the noise, to let go of the stress, and to reconnect with yourself in ways you might not have thought possible. It's as if the journey itself becomes a part of your healing process, and that's a beautiful thing. Now, you might be wondering, how can I experience healing travel for myself? Well, here's the good news. You don't have to wait for the stars to align or for some big life crisis to push you into action. You can choose healing travel anytime you feel the need to reset and recharge. Whether you're at a crossroad in life, dealing with emotional pain, or simply feeling out of sync with yourself, travel can provide the kind of space and clarity that's hard to find in everyday life. The key is to be intentional about it. Healing travel doesn't just happen by accident. It's about making conscious choices. It's about asking yourself, what do I need right now? How can this trip serve my well-being? Maybe it's about exploring new places or diving into nature, or perhaps it's about spending time with yourself away from distractions. Whatever it looks like for you, remember that healing travel is a gift you give yourself. You see, healing travel is not a one-size-fits-all experience. It can take so many different forms, from a quiet retreat in the mountains to a soulful journey across the world. The important thing is that it's your journey. That's right. It's your journey. And you don't have to do it alone. As you embark on this path, know that there's a community of travelers, just like Jessica, who have found healing through their own adventures. They've been where you are, and they've come out the other side stronger, more connected, and ready to face life with a renewed sense of purpose. See, it's stories like Jessica's that remind us how powerful travel can be when we approach it with the intention of healing. And here's the best part. You can do this too. So, as we continue to explore healing travel in today's episode, I want you to start thinking about how you can make your next trip not just a vacation, but a journey of healing and self-discovery. Segment 2, Best Destinations for Wellness Travel. Now let's get into some juicy details. If you're thinking, okay, Sunshine, I'm ready to heal, but where do I go? I've got you covered. There are some magical places around the world that are designed to help you recharge and reconnect. So let's take a trip. Well, mentally for now, through a few of these amazing spots. And remember, it's not just about the destination, but about the intention you bring with you. First up, we got Bali. Yeah, Bali. Where do I even begin? It's a true haven for anyone looking to slow down and reconnect with themselves. If healing had a home, Bali would be one of the top contenders. It's like a spiritual playground. From yoga retreats to holistic healing centers, it's a paradise for the soul. Picture yourself surrounded by lush greenery, the soothing sounds of nature, and those tranquil rice fields stretching as far as the eye can see. You can almost feel the peace wash over you just thinking about it, right? I can. Then there's the ocean breeze, the serene temples, and that beautiful balance between nature and spirituality. The island seems to invite you to let go of whatever is weighing you down and just be. Whether it's through yoga, meditation, or simply soaking in the culture, Bali offers a unique chance to ground yourself in the moment. Moving on to a place that holds its own magical energy, Sedona, Arizona. I already mentioned Sedona earlier with Jessica's story, but it's worth diving into again because it's a place unlike any other. Sedona is famous for its energy vortexes, which people believe can promote healing and spiritual awakening. I know, energy vortexes may sound a little out there, but trust me, there's something about those red rocks, the wide open spaces, and that desert sky that just makes you feel alive. It's like nature herself is offering you a big comforting hug. Sedona is one of those places where the moment you arrive, you feel like a weight has been lifted off of your shoulders. And if you're into hiking or outdoor activities, those stunning rock formations give you the perfect backdrop for some serious soul searching. It's like your problems shrink in comparison to the vastness of the landscape. If you're looking for something a little more under the radar, check out the Algarve in Portugal. This might not be the first place that comes to mind when you think about wellness travel, but let me tell you, it's a hidden gem. Picture this: stunning cliffs, quiet beaches, and hidden retreats where you can focus on wellness without the crowds or distractions. The Algarve offers a perfect blend of relaxation and adventure. You can spend your morning doing yoga on a secluded beach, your afternoon exploring hidden coves, and your evenings enjoying fresh, healthy meals made with local ingredients. It's the kind of place where time slows down and you can reconnect with yourself in a way that feels effortless. The gentle ocean waves, the sound of seagulls, the warmth of the sun, it's all designed to help you let go of stress and tune into your own well being. Oh, and we can't forget about Bhutan, often called the happiest country in the world. Bhutan is unique in so many ways, especially when it comes to their focus on mindfulness and happiness. Nestled in the stunning Himalaya mountains, Bhutan is a dream for wellness seekers. Imagine waking up to the sight of snow-capped peaks, breathing in the fresh mountain air, and spending your days in muse in a culture that emphasizes balance, meditation, and the pursuit of happiness. What's really special about Bhutan is that the country measures its success in terms of gross national happiness, not GDP. Can you believe that? It's a place where the focus is on well being, both on an individual and societal level. Traveling here feels like stepping into another world, one where the pressures of modern life falls far away and you can focus on what really matters. Rebecca from New York wrote in to tell us about her time in Bali. She was dealing with a lot of anxiety and stress from work, and a friend suggested she attend a yoga retreat there. After a week of practicing yoga, eating clean, and just slowing down, she said she felt like she could breathe again. Rebecca described it as hitting a spiritual reset button, and she's made it a point to take a healing trip every year since. Isn't that amazing? And the best part is, you don't have to go halfway around the world to feel that kind of renewal. You can find your own healing space anywhere, even locally. Whether it's a weekend getaway to a nearby nature reserve or simply taking a day to disconnect and recharge in your own backyard. Healing travel is about what you need to heal, not necessarily where you go. It's the intention you set and the energy you bring that makes all the difference. That said, there's something undeniably magical about these destinations that have been designed with wellness in mind. Each of these places, Bali, Sedona, the Algarve, Bhutan, has its own unique energy and offers something special for those seeking a deeper level of healing. Whether it's spiritual, physical, or emotional, these destinations give you the space to reconnect with yourself in a way that everyday life doesn't always allow. But remember, healing can happen anywhere as long as you're open to the experience. As we move forward, think about what kind of healing journey would resonate most with you. Are you craving solitude in nature, like Sedona? Or perhaps a spiritual and cultural reset, like Bhutan offers? Maybe the lush tranquility of Bali calls to you, or the quiet charm of the Algarve feels like your speed. Whatever you choose, wherever you choose to go, let it be a place that speaks to your soul and helps you heal from the inside out. Segment 3, The Power of Mindful Travel. Now let's talk about one of my favorite topics, mindful travel. Many of us rush through our vacations, snapping photos, checking our phones, trying to see every single thing on our itinerary. Trust me, I've been guilty of that too. It's so easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new place, feeling like we need to capture everything, not just for ourselves, but to share with the world. But here's the thing. When we travel mindfully, when we actually slow down and experience the places we're in, that's where the magic happens. Mindfulness during travel is all about being present. It's about taking in the sounds, the smells, the colors around you, and letting yourself fully immerse in the experience without rushing into the next thing. In a world that's constantly pulling us in a million directions, being present can feel like a challenge. But when you can do it, even for just a few moments, travel becomes healing. It becomes transformative. Think about the last trip you went on. How often did you pause to simply breathe and take in your surroundings? How often did you feel truly grateful for the moment you were in without worrying about capturing it for social media or getting to the next activity on your itinerary? If your answer is not as often as you're like, you're not alone. But that's the beauty of mindful travel. It's practice. And like any practice, it gets easier with time and intention. Now, let's dive into some simple yet powerful ways you can incorporate mindfulness into your next trip. These aren't complicated or time-consuming tips. They're more like creating a small, meaningful moment that will enhance your experience and allow you to connect more deeply with the world around you. Tip number 1, breathe. Let's start with the most basic yet profound thing we can do. Breathe. Take moments throughout your trip to just breathe deeply and intentionally. Inhale through your nose. Let your lungs fill with the air of wherever you are. And then slowly exhale. Focus on your breath and notice how your body feels. Maybe you're standing on a beach with the salty ocean air filling your lungs. Or perhaps you're on top of a mountain with the crisp, cool breeze. Wherever you are, this simple act of breathing can ground you in the present moment. It's a reminder that you're alive and that you're here experiencing this incredible place. Mindful breathing doesn't take any extra time or energy. It's something you can do while waiting for a train, sitting in a cafe, or walking down the street. But the impact it has on your experience is huge. It helps to slow down your thoughts, bring you back to the moment, and make you more aware of your surroundings. It turns the act of traveling from something hurried into something intentional and meaningful. Tip number 2, practice gratitude. Gratitude is another powerful tool for mindfulness, especially during travel. Take moments throughout your travel to feel grateful for the place you're in, the people you're with, and the experience itself. Maybe you're grateful for the warm sun on your skin, the friendly smile of a local shopkeeper, or the beautiful architecture of the city you're visiting. When you're consciously cultivating gratitude, it shifts your perspective. Instead of focusing on what's next, you're able to appreciate the beauty of what's right in front of you. And it doesn't have to be big, grand things that you're grateful for. It can be something as small as the taste of your morning coffee or the sound of the birds chirping outside your window. When you start to notice and acknowledge these little things, they add up. And suddenly your trip feels fuller, richer, and more meaningful. Gratitude amplifies the experience of travel, turning even the simplest moments into something special. One thing I like to do when I'm traveling is keep a small gratitude journal. It's nothing fancy, just a little notebook where I jot down things I'm grateful for each day. It could be something as simple as I'm grateful for the delicious croissant I had at breakfast, or I'm grateful for the peaceful walk I took by the river. Writing these things down help to solidify those moments in my mind and remind me to appreciate the experience as it's happening. Tip number 3, unplug. Now, this one might feel a little tricky in today's hyper-connected world, but it's probably the most important. Put the phone down. I promise you, just a little while, and really see where you are. I know how tempting it is to document every moment of your trip, to take photos, post updates on social media, and check in with friends. But when we're constantly glued to our phones, we're missing out on the real experience of travel. We're not fully present. I'm not saying you shouldn't take any photos or share your journey with others. Those things are great. But make sure you're also carving out time to just be in the moment without the distraction of a screen. Take a break from checking emails, social media, and notifications. Let your mind be free from the constant buzzing and let yourself connect with the place you're in. You might be surprised at how much more you notice when you're not focused on capturing the perfect shot. Being unplugged allows you to experience the place with all your senses. Notice the colors around you, the vibrant greens of the trees, the deep blues of the ocean. Listen to the sounds, the rustling of leaves in the wind, the laughter of children playing, the distant hum of the city. Smell the air, whether it's the scent of fresh rain, the earthy aroma of a forest, or the fragrant spices of a street market. Feel the textures, the sand beneath your feet, the warmth of the sun on your skin, and the cool breeze on your face. When you're fully immersed in the present moment, travel becomes a multisensory experience that stays with you long after the trip is over. One of the best parts of unplugging is the mental clarity it brings. Without the constant distraction of your phone, you can actually reflect on your thoughts and emotions. You can process what you're experiencing in real time rather than just thinking about how it'll look on your Instagram feed. And that's where the real magic of mindful travel lies. It's in those quiet, reflective moments when you're fully present and connected to the world around you. Now let's take a moment to hear from one of our listeners, Paula from Colorado. Paula had a powerful experience on a solo hiking trip in New Zealand. She was going through a tough time in her life, feeling overwhelmed by work, relationships, and just the general pace of life. She needed to get away, so she booked a hiking trip through some of New Zealand's most beautiful trails, hoping that nature would bring her the peace she craved. But what she didn't expect was how much healing she could find when she stopped rushing and started noticing everything around her. Paula shared with me, at first I was trying to push through the hikes, trying to complete them as quickly as possible, like it was some kind of race. But after a while, I realized I was missing the point, so I slowed down. I started to notice the sounds of the birds, the way the light filtered through the trees, the smell of the earth after the rain. I even stopped to sit by a river, just listening to the water flow. And that's when I felt it, this overwhelming sense of peace. The sounds, the smells, the sights. It was all so healing. Paula's story is such a powerful reminder that sometimes healing happens when we least expect it, when we're simply present. It wasn't the physical act of hiking that brought Paula the peace she was seeking. It was the mindfulness she practiced along the way. By slowing down and being present in the moment, she was able to connect with the world around her in a way that was deeply healing. And that's the power of mindful travel. Tip number 4, embrace imperfection. Another important aspect of mindful travel is embracing imperfection. Let's be real. Travel rarely goes exactly as planned. Maybe your flight gets delayed, you get lost trying to find your hotel, or the weather doesn't cooperate. It's easy to let these hiccups ruin your trip, but mindfulness teaches us to accept things as they are without judgment. Instead of getting frustrated or stressed out, try to see these moments as part of the journey, your opportunity to practice patience, adaptability, and gratitude. Sometimes the best travel experiences come from the unexpected. Maybe you'll meet someone amazing because your train was delayed, or you discover a hidden gem because you took a wrong turn. When you let go of the need for everything to be perfect, you open yourself up to new possibilities and experiences. Tip number 5, savor every moment. Finally, savor every moment of your trip. It's easy to rush through travel, trying to see and do as much as possible, but mindfulness reminds us to slow down and truly enjoy the experience. Whether it's savoring a delicious meal, watching a sunset, or simply sitting in a cafe and people watching, take the time to appreciate the beauty of the moment. These are the memories that will stay with you long after your trip is over. When you practice mindfulness during your travel, you not only deepen your connection to the place you're visiting, but you also cultivate. When you practice mindfulness during travel, you not only deepen your connection to the place you're visiting, but you also cultivate a sense of peace and presence that stays with you long after you return home. So on your next adventure, remember to breathe, practice gratitude, unplug, embrace imperfection, and savor every moment. Your journey will be all the more meaningful for it. Segment 4, planning your own wellness travel adventure. Okay, so now that we've got you excited about the ideal of healing travel, let's talk about how you can plan your own wellness adventure. Don't worry, it's not as overwhelming as it might seem. In fact, part of the beauty of wellness travel is that it doesn't have to be complicated or intimidating. The key is to create a travel that reflects what you need at this moment in your life. It's about designing an experience that's going to nurture your body, mind, and soul without adding more stress to the equation. And trust me, it's totally possible. First things first, pick a destination that speaks to your soul. This might sound a little woo-woo, but hear me out. Whether you choose a tropical island with white sandy beaches, a quiet mountain retreat, or even a local spa just a couple of hours away, the location should be one where you feel a sense of peace and connection. Maybe you've always felt drawn to the ocean, where the sound of waves can lure you into a state of calm. Or maybe the quiet stillness of a forest is where you find the most clarity. The destination doesn't have to be far or exotic. It just needs to resonate with you. Remember, healing travel is about what your soul needs, not about impressing others or ticking off a bucket list. Now think about what you want to get from this trip. This is a big one because your intention will shape the experience. Is it relaxation? Do you need a break from the busyness of your life where you can finally just breathe? Or are you looking for reflection? A chance to hit pause and think about where you are in life and where you want to go next. Maybe you're dealing with emotional wounds that need healing, whether it's heartbreak, stress, or the loss of a loved one. And you're hoping this trip will give you the space to process those feelings. Whatever it is, be clear about your intentions. Once you know that, you can tailor the trip to meet those needs. If relaxation is your goal, you might want to choose a place with plenty of opportunity for rest and pampering, like a resort with a great spa or yoga retreats. If you're seeking reflection, maybe you prefer a destination that offers solitude and quiet, like a mountain cabin or a meditation retreat. And if you're in need of deeper healing, look into wellness retreats that offer holistic therapies, mindfulness practices, or even spiritual guidance. One thing I really want to emphasize: don't overplan. Seriously, this is where I see so many people go wrong. It can be so tempting to fill every minute of your trip with activities, whether it's hiking, yoga classes, sightseeing, or spa treatments. But healing doesn't happen on a schedule. Nope, it doesn't happen on a schedule. You have to give yourself space to just be. Let go of the idea that you have to do it all or that you have to follow a strict itinerary. Healing is a process, and sometimes the most profound moments happen when you leave space for spontaneity. This brings me to a story from one of our listeners, Anna from Florida. She had planned a wellness trip to Thailand, and being the planner that she is, she had every single day mapped out. Yoga classes at sunrise, guided meditations in the afternoon, cooking classes in the evening. It sounded like the perfect wellness escape. But by the second day, she was exhausted. Anna told me I was trying so hard to stick to my schedule that I wasn't actually enjoying the experience. So what did she do? She threw the schedule out the window. Literally. From that point on, she went with the flow. She spent her days wandering around the local markets, taking impromptu beach walks, and soaking in the beauty of Thailand. And that's when the real magic happened, she said. Once I let go of the need to control every moment, I started to feel relaxed. I felt more present, more connected to myself. Isn't that such a powerful lesson? Sometimes the best healing happens when we let go. So as you're planning your trip, remember that it's okay, actually, it's more than okay, to not have every detail figured out. Leave some room for the unexpected. Maybe you'll discover a hidden trail or meet someone who introduces you to a new practice or perspective. Or maybe you'll just find the best part of your trip is sitting in a hammock doing absolutely nothing. And that's perfectly fine. Healing doesn't follow a checklist. It unfolds in its own way. Another thing to keep in mind, be open to change. You might start your trip with one ideal in mind, but as you relax and unwind, your needs might shift. Maybe you thought you were going on a yoga retreat to detox and move your body. But after a few days, you find that all you really want to do is curl up with a good book and nap by the pool. That's okay. Wellness travel is about tuning into yourself and listening to what your body, mind, and soul need at that moment. Be flexible. Let the experience evolve naturally. Sometimes what we think we need isn't what we actually need, and that's where being open comes in. I also want to talk about the importance of setting boundaries for yourself during this trip. This might sound strange. Aren't you supposed to be relaxing? But hear me out. Wellness travel is all about taking care of you, and that means creating space for your healing, even if that means saying no to certain things. For example, if you're traveling with others, you might feel the pressure to join in on every activity or meal. But if your body is telling you to rest or take some time alone, listen to that. It's okay to prioritize your own needs and say, I'm going to sit this one out, or I need some solo time. Healing happens when you honor your boundaries. Now, if you're traveling solo, you might find that this trip gives you the perfect opportunity to practice self-care in a whole new way. When you're alone, there's no one else to worry about. You can truly focus on what you want to do and what makes you feel good. Maybe that means sleeping in, treating yourself to a long bath, or spending an afternoon journaling by the water. Solo travel can be incredibly empowering because if it forces you to listen to your inner voice without the distraction of others. And speaking of journaling, I highly recommend bringing a journal with you on your wellness trip. Writing can be such a powerful tool for healing. Use it to reflect on your experiences, your emotions, and any insight that comes to you during the trip. You don't have to write every day, but even jotting down a few thoughts can help you process what you're feeling and bring clarity to your journey. Plus, it's also nice to look back on those moments later and remember how far you've come. Another practical tip: pack light, both physically and emotionally. This might sound obvious, but it's worth saying. Don't bring a bunch of stuff you don't need. If you're carrying a heavy suitcase filled with just in case items, it can weigh you down, literally and metaphorically. Keep it simple. Bring the essentials and trust that you'll have everything you need. The same goes for emotional baggage. Leave behind any guilt, stress, or worries that might be clouding your mind. This trip is for you. Give yourself permission to fully embrace it without dragging along the weight of your everyday life. One last thing I want to mention about planning your wellness trip. Embrace the small moments. Healing doesn't always come in big dramatic epiphanies. Often it's found in the quiet, simple moments. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of the ocean, the stillness of the mountains, or even the taste of a fresh cup of tea in the morning. Pay attention to those moments and savor them. They're just as important, if not more, than the big aha moments. Let me share another story from one of our listeners, Karen from Seattle. Karen had been dealing with major burnout for months. Her job was overwhelming, and she felt like she couldn't catch a break. So she decided to take a solo weekend trip to a cabin in the mountains. Her plans were to hike, meditate, and read all weekend. But when she got there, something unexpected happened. She didn't feel like doing anything. She spent most of her trip sitting on the porch, sipping tea, and staring at the trees. At first, Karen said she felt guilty for not being more productive. By the end of the weekend, she realized that sitting still and doing nothing was exactly what she needed. She wrote to me afterwards saying, "I didn't realize how much I needed to just be." That weekend changed the way I think about self-care and healing. Karen's story is such a powerful reminder that sometimes less is more. Healing doesn't always mean doing. It can also mean being still. So as you plan your wellness travel adventure, keep this in mind. Be flexible, be kind to yourself, and don't be afraid to let go of the need to do everything. Healing is a journey, not a destination, and sometimes the most powerful moments happen when we simply allow ourselves to be. Now go out there and plan that adventure. Trust me, you won't regret it. Segment 5, Key Takeaways. As we come to the end of our journey today, I want to leave you with a few key takeaways from this episode. Thoughts you can carry with you, not just on your next trip, but in everyday life as well. First and foremost, remember that healing travel is intentional. It's not just about escaping the day-to-day grind or ticking off destinations on a bucket list. It's about engaging in experiences that restore your mind, body, and soul. Think about the places that call to you, the ones that invite you to breathe deeper, to reflect, and to reconnect with yourself. Whether you're exploring the majestic red mountains of Sedona, taking in the ancient history of Greece, or sitting quietly by the ocean in Bali, healing is possible when you give yourself the space to truly embrace the moment. And it's not just the destination that brings healing. It's the way you approach the journey, the intention behind your travel, the mindset you carry, and your willingness to be open to the experiences that await you. Travel doesn't have to be elaborate to be healing. Sometimes it's as simple as a weekend retreat in the mountains or a solo hike through a nearby forest. The key is allowing yourself to slow down, unplug, and really be in the space you're in. When you do that, the healing happens naturally. Second, we've learned the power of mindful travel and how it can transform not only your trip, but your entire outlook. Being present during travel, really taking in the sights, sounds, and feelings around you, open you up to deeper experiences. These experiences, often the ones we least expect, have the potential to heal us from the inside out. Whether it's sitting in silence in nature, connecting with the local culture, or simply allowing yourself to savor the moment without distraction. Mindful travel makes all the difference. It shifts travel from being something we do to being something we experience on a much deeper level. And finally, planning your wellness trip with care while leaving room for spontaneity can truly elevate the experience. It's important to have a sense of where you want to go and what activities will support your healing. But don't be afraid to let go of the need to control every detail. Sometimes the most transformative moments happen when we step away from the schedule and simply go with the flow. Whether it's an unplanned conversation with a fellow traveler, or a detour to a hidden beach, or a quiet moment of reflection you didn't expect. Those spontaneous experiences often provide the most healing. So if today's episode inspired you, I encourage you to take that leap. It doesn't have to be a grand, far-off adventure, although it certainly can be. It can be a weekend getaway, a day trip, or even just creating moments of mindfulness in your daily life. You deserve this time to heal, to recharge, and to reconnect with yourself. Give yourself permission to make your well-being a priority. Before we wrap up, I want to share one last listener story that really touched me. Sophia from London shared how her wellness retreat in Portugal completely changed her life. She had been struggling with burnout for a long time, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected from herself. She decided to book a week-long retreat focusing on yoga, healthy eating, and meditation, hoping that a change in scenery would help. But what she didn't expect was how transformative the experience would be. Sophia said, I hadn't felt that calm in years. It was like a weight lifted off of me. By the end of the week, I felt like a completely new person, lighter, more grounded, and ready to face life with renewed energy. Sophia's story is a powerful reminder that sometimes taking time for yourself isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. If you're feeling burnout, stressed, or disconnected, maybe it's time to give yourself the space to heal, just like Sophia did. Her story reminds us that even a short trip with the right intention can bring about profound transformation. If this episode resonated with you, I love to hear about it. Your stories, thoughts, and experiences mean so much to me and our entire Energize Your Passion community. Please share your thoughts with me. And if you feel inspired, consider leaving a 5-star review or sharing this episode with someone who could use a little healing in their life. Your support helps us grow and reach more beautiful souls who are on their own journey to healing. Thank you for tuning in to Energize Your Passion. Remember, healing is a journey, not a destination, and I am so grateful to be on this journey with you. Until next time, my beautiful souls, I'm sending you love, light, and healing energy wherever you go. This is Sunshine, signing off.